We all know there's an advantage to playing at home, to being the home team. At LGKG, we've been your home team personal injury attorneys for auto accident and workers' compensation cases for over 90 years. We know what works and how to win. We have all the credentials. At LGKG, we don't take every case. We handpick our clients so that we can give you the attention you deserve.
Fee, 5-4, nothing to a giant. Waited my turn, call it perfect time and trust the most high. Got the stars aligning, I was tapped in. I've been strategizing, dreams coming true. I've been fantasizing while you criticize. Pay attention to the signs, symbolize. Feel like a legend, they go idolized. Ayy, I'm a hero, wear my cape. Independent leader made a way. I'm the people's voice, your people rate. Stuck to my pace, the turtle win the race. The trophies on trophies, views from the townscape. Change is great praise, then I had to escape. God told me time to go elevate. Chosen child, I'm the champ now, not a featherweight.
At MP Coney Island, it's all about the chili and has been for nearly 100 years since we opened in 1923. We helped put Newcastle on the map as the hot dog capital of the world. Visit our store, place an order for pickup at mpconeyisland.com, delivery with DoorDash, or find the grocery store near you with our chili locator on our website. Want to own your own MP Coney Island? Now you can with our franchise system. At MP Coney Island, it's all about the chili.
Good evening. Thank you for tuning into the Hot Slice tonight, episode number 6. I have my special guest, Ryan Stoner. He's going to talk a little bit about what he does. He's an agent for Keller Williams. But before we roll into that, I want to talk to you all about, I guess we're going to have a little event out of Cascade Park called Lawrence County's Heritage Days this weekend. What a beautiful event it's going to be, Saturday and Sunday. The admission price is $5. That's hard to, beat. And they're going to have everything, all different heritages, all different traditions. Make sure you all go out. I'm going to try to get out there. Yeah. So good evening again. Welcome back to the podcast show. It's been a couple weeks since we've had one. And I reached out to Ryan, and he was so kind to come in. I really appreciate you coming in, Ryan.
I appreciate you having me.
Thank you. Ryan Stoner, Newcastle, born and bred. 2023 Best of the Best real estate man. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, basically, the best of the best, it boils down to, who produces, who does what, who's seen, who's out there, hustling. And especially you see a lot of the people that are in Newcastle that win best of the best, and their faces you see every day. Yeah. It's few and far between. You were like, oh, I don't know who Guyz is. You know what I mean? We all know who Guyz is.
Right,
so
right,
that's
right.
That's basically how it boils down to. But I mean, there's been numerous other candidates, numerous other winners that deserve the utmost respect too, because everybody does very, very good at that.
Well, that's great. I mean, that was a great award you won. Every time I look at you, I think back to my old days. Susan Stoner, David Stoner. I think about the old neighborhood that I grew up in, and your family was special to me, and good people, and I'm just so glad to have you in here. And you're all about community. You were one of our first sponsors.
Yeah.
I mean, you jumped right aboard.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we really appreciate you sponsoring us, letting us come out here, do our thing. How did you jump aboard on getting us sponsored? Did you see us on the air? Or?
Yeah, I saw you in there. Ron reached out to me also, and it boils down to the community, and I see people out there trying to do things in this town, and I know that sometimes people don't like a little bit of change or a little bit of positivity, and I think that when yourself and Ron and the other hosts and guests that are doing these podcasts, I think it's important for us because Newcastle can get some backlash, and I think it's important for all of us to be out there supporting.
Well, that's why I did it. That's why I come in. Ron approached me and he said, we want to do a show. I said, well, yeah, I definitely would like to do a show. And I like it. I've worked part of the community for about 33 years and with my job, and I've been here all my life. And I think Newcastle has a lot to offer in many ways. And that's what we're going to talk to you about. You being the real estate agent, you got people coming from all over trying to, buy some property here. Oh, yeah. Tell us a little bit about that. People where you got, people coming from, the demographic, and why they're coming here.
Yeah. So we were talking prior to, and I think right now I have four different houses that are under contract. Out of the 4 or 5 that I have under contract, there's 4 of them that are from either Carnegie, Oregon, California, Arizona, and then I just sold one from Carnegie, and I have another one coming up from Bridgeville too. So I mean, and that's Newcastle has the appeal to it, and it's just not because that we have lower housing or whatnot. Western Pennsylvania in general is number 5 in the United States for having the lowest housing costs. So, it's only going to keep on rising and keep on going and keep on going and keep on going. And right now, you come into Lawrence County, you're getting the best bang for your buck. It boils down to that.
Are some of those people have roots here, or do some of those people just did some research, contacted you, and then you sold them on this area? And how did you sell them on this area?
So a little bit of both. You know, sometimes you'll have somebody coming in and they'll be like, okay, you know, on the list, that's just on my listing side. So that's on my listing side of the houses that I have listed. There's 4 or 5 transplants coming here, and I know that one of them is from Oregon. That they originally, someone lived here before. They saw the house, and you know, and that's how that worked. But you know how you sell somebody on Lawrence County. You know, let's talk about how do you sell somebody on Lawrence County.
Let's talk about
okay.
it.
You know, Lawrence County, we have lower taxes. You know, you go anywhere south of Lawrence County, go into, you know, Beaver. Go into Beaver County, they just reassessed. Go into Allegheny County. You know, I mean, that says it all. The Allegheny taxes are crazy. They're crazy. You come into Newcastle. I just sold under contract with a house in Laurel right now that has 3 acres, beautiful, over 300 square feet. You know, house listed at $470,000. Okay, if you put that house in Wexford, Cranberry, Bridgeville, anywhere down south, it's going to be close to $1 million today,
Wow.
if not more. Who knows? You know, depending on the area. So like, whenever I sell somebody on Lawrence County, somebody walks in the door and be like, you know, why Newcastle? You know, Newcastle has a variety of reasons, just not the food. You know, no, we do. We have low cost here. We're community oriented, and it's just not just in the city either. Like go into Union, go into Laurel, go into Shenango, go into Neshannock, go into Wilmington. You know, everybody's tight knit. And Newcastle's like that, you know, that somebody's got your back somewhere,
That's
you
right.
know, and that's just what it is. And that's why I love the city. It's
Right.
literally it.
And like you said, you know, it's not only the city, it's the municipalities around us. And then you got the West Pittsburgh area.
absolutely,
You got
yeah.
Wampum. You know, Chewton.
Elwood.
Beautiful. Elwood City.
Elwood's its own little world out there.
Right? That's right. I mean, you know, and everybody has, you know, the sense of community, and it's clean. And, you know, they have their own pool at Elwood City. It's beautiful down there by the ball fields.
Oh, we go down there all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah, we get
it's
down.
nice.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
So you picked up a partner
Yeah.
in your practice. And
I did.
Who's that?
I did. She's prettier than me.
Oh,
No, I don't want to go there. No, it's my wife.
Yeah.
It's my wife. Yeah. My wife joined the real estate game here about a year ago, and she's doing fantastic. She's
That's
doing
good.
very, very, very good. Yeah, she knows what she's doing. She knows how to talk. She brings a different level than myself. I can be a little bit intense. I can be I'm passionate. I get real passionate about things. And
I would have never
no,
guessed that.
never. No, but she's she brings a sweet kindness and very informative. You know, like I listen to her talk to people, and I'm like, okay, okay, you know,
That's good.
I'm gonna take one
So
out.
your team, do you guys work together on sales and
Oh, yeah.
and representing people?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely. Yeah,
awesome.
and because like one of the harder parts, and this is like a lot of times you'll see people that, you know, in order to buy a house, they have to sell their house. And this is where we're great at doing, because it is such a hard thing. It's a home sale contingency, okay? And getting offers accepted and then going through the process. With being able to work with a teammate that you're close with, that you can understand and you can communicate with.
And trust.
In trust, exactly. So then, like, I can work, say, on the listing side of it, and she can work with for them to find a house, buy the house, and then I'm concentrated. I'm solely concentrated on selling their house, how I can market it, and go from there. She's solely concentrated on how to get them into the best house to make them the happiest.
Beautiful.
So, and then at the end, like, we've done numerous of them, you know, and it's crazy because when I was a solo agent and I was doing them, I was pulling my hair out. You know, because it's tough. It's any realtor out there can say it is one of the harder things to do. But having somebody like her on my team and supporting me, you know, and supporting each other, it's a no-brainer. It really is.
Before we go into the next question, I got a guy messaging me. He said he's gonna be watching from out the West Coast.
Oh yeah.
Brian.
Brian,
So,
yeah.
You know anything about
I
Brian?
know Brian.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's been
yeah.
watching tonight, and he said when he comes in, he's going to be on the Hot Slice. So he'll be watching you
Okay,
guys.
okay.
And he's watching tonight, and he's excited about it. I talked to him a little bit about it. And then Reynolds, I also talked to him about it. And
Yeah, I think my whole family's tuning
Yeah,
in
that's
today.
cool,
Yeah,
that's
my
cool. You're
son, my wife, my parents, my aunts, my uncles, cousins,
Yeah.
they're all there. Yeah, they're all there. Yeah.
I'm excited.
All the Southsiders. You got all the
That's
Southsiders.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, Ryan. Now, I want to ask you this question. There's a series of questions.
Okay.
Now, I usually don't take notes, but being that you're so intense, I said I better be ready for you.
Okay, I'm
And
all right
you're-
with that.
you know,
I'm
you
good
got
with that. Yeah,
Southside roots.
yeah, I got that.
I'm gonna bring it. All right.
Okay.
When you got that Pittsburgh Real Producers publication, was that like a highlight or an award, or what was that all about? Tell us about that, and tell us about what they interviewed you about and some of the successes and stuff like what they talked to you about.
Okay, so the Pittsburgh Real Producers, it's a nomination. It is. It's a nomination. There's, the award is basically just being on there. I didn't know. I've always seen it, and I always aspired to see these other realtors that were named in this magazine. There was a couple people that I knew that I became friends with along the way, and I was like, okay, I really want to be there, So what do I have to do to be there? So basically, what they do is they boil down like the best realtors, and then they go by stats. They do stats, the amount of sales, your volume, and they pull them out of say it's a top 300, 200, 100, whatever it is of Western Pennsylvania. And Western Pennsylvania it's deep. We have a ton of realtors, thousands.
Oh, yeah.
And so whenever they called me, he was like, "Hey, Ryan, I want to meet with you." So we met at a coffee shop down in Beaver County, and we were talking. And I'm so used to going in there, BSing with somebody, and being like, "Okay, how much money do I have to give you to be in your magazine?" So that's exactly.
Well, that's those roots.
Exactly. Like, what do we got to do? So what's okay? Like, we got it out of the way. How much do you need? And so and he just immediately started laughing. He was like, "No." He's like, "We sought you out."
Beautiful.
Yeah. He's like, "We sought you out," and he was like, and the conversation that we had, and just the in depth. His name's Ben Snowden, and he's a great guy.
Sure.
We actually built a friendship from that too. And it's and then it turns into the interview process. Which the interview process, we got deep. It got deep, and it went to where I wanted it to go.
Beautiful.
Because my whole life and my whole being is built around my family. I stress that to the umpteenth degree, that like I'm a man that just doesn't talk. Like, I show what I do. There's I want to strive to be the man that I want my son to be when he gets older. And what's the best way to do that? By actions.
Example,
And I live by that code. Like, you will never see me sitting here and saying one thing and then living a different way. Right. Just a code that that I've been through in my life, and I've seen so many different things, and that I have a different appreciation for just the beautiful little things in life, and that publication really hit on that, and I loved it. It was so well written, and it was very nice. And then we did the pictures for it, and I thought it was going to be free until I had to go buy the whole family.
Yeah, it was a very nice article. It was well written. I read it, and it was really nice. And you could see you got the fire, and you could see, you want to be a good leader in the community,
Yeah.
and you want to be a good family man and a good leader for your son, and that's beautiful, and that's really nice. I have to tell you. Being part of this community in my lifetime, we've seen a lot of people come and go, but most of them always come back.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the reason why they come back is because of what you said, the family, the community, the tightness of the community, whether it's through athletics, whether it's through business, whether it's through music, they always come back. And I never left,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But we can go anywhere.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, we're 45 minutes from Pittsburgh. We're 55 minutes to Erie,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Cleveland. So, I think Newcastle and the surrounding area has a lot to offer. And, you said you met that fella down into, was it Beaver County?
Mm-hmm.
Did you meet him in Beaver itself?
No, it was that we met in Monaca. I believe it was.
Oh.
It was a little coffee shop in Monaca.
Nice,
Yeah,
that's
yeah. But
nice.
I have an office down in Beaver also.
Wow,
yeah,
good.
yeah. I have an office down in Beaver, and I love downtown Beaver. It's
Well-
one of the most quaint, beautiful towns in this area.
Waffles and Cafe.
Oh, yeah, that's
All
right. So we go there every single Christmas Eve.
That's nice.
My wife, my son, and I every
Yeah.
every single Christmas. It's a tradition.
It's
That's why we
nice.
go there. Yeah, yeah.
It's nice. And then, we got our man Jordan Lyles. He's got
Yep.
he's got that little Johnny's too downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got that fella that opened up that place in First Western National Bank building over there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
I
mean,
know.
I've never been there yet.
I haven't. Is it open? Open?
Is
Yeah.
it open, Ronnie?
With the Asian restaurant?
Yeah.
Not till end of the month. September.
Okay, yeah, we were
So
talking.
I'm
I'm excited about that.
you
Yeah,
know
I'm
what I
excited
mean?
about that.
I
No,
mean, that's good. And you got, Johnny Comianis down here. His family's been in business.
I've known Johnny,
You know Johnny, right?
since I was. Johnny can tell you stories. Yeah.
Right. So you know what I mean? Johnny's a good friend of mine.
No, yeah, yeah,
Very good
yeah,
friend of mine.
I've known Johnny my whole
And
entire
you got
life. Yeah.
Pizza Man.
Yeah.
And there's a lot going on in downtown Newcastle, and then in the county, you got the developer. What is it, Michael Wish, out
Oh,
there
yeah.
at the plaza? Look what he's doing out
Dude,
there.
it's amazing. It is. Mike, he did our new office in Neshannock. Yeah, so we moved offices because we were downtown. We were downtown, and we moved up to Tuscany Square.
Okay.
And I contacted Mike whenever we moved, and I mean, it was just put together. Tony Borelli is his architect. They did I go look at that office. Nicest office in Newcastle. by
Who's the
far.
office manager for you?
Karen Stauffer. Yeah, Karen Stauffer.
Is
yeah.
she Newcastle area?
Yeah, she lives out in Mohawk.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool,
mhm,
cool.
Yeah.
So it's you and a few agents, or?
We have numerous agents.
Do you?
Yeah, oh yeah, we have a bunch of agents up there. Yeah,
And-
yeah. But I mean, real estate is real estate.
Right.
Real estate is. It doesn't matter if you work for Keller Williams, Howard Hanna, Berkshire Hathaway. You're running your own business.
Mm-hmm.
You're responsible for you.
You got a lot of collaborations with the different?
No, absolutely.
That's cool.
Oh, absolutely.
How do
yeah.
how do you come about doing some collaborations?
Well, basically, like the collaborations only come on the buying and listing side. So
Okay.
if I'm a listing agent, I have a buyer coming in from another brokerage. And I think that's one of the other things in Newcastle too, is that we all know each other some way or another, or we're related. No, but
Yeah, that's-
no, but it's nice because there's a lot of agents in this town that you see the same names, and there's a reason that you see the same names over and over and over again, because they're good agents.
Right.
And I enjoy working with 99.9% of the agents that are in Newcastle.
That's
I get along with everybody. I think that's a big part of the business, because you don't want to make enemies. Like, I'm not out here, doing my job and trying to, screw somebody over or do something that's going to upset someone. And at the end of the day, we all have the same goal. We want to sell the house. We want both of our clients to be happy, and in a best cordial way that we can do that, we'll
Right.
get it done. I think realtors get a little bit of a bad rap. Some people will say we put a sign in the yard and turn on lights and lock doors. If somebody saw me working till 12:30 at night last night and dreaming of my job and waking up at 6 a.m. and still doing that same job till I walk in the door here, it's a 24-hour job.
Yes.
We go on vacations, we do things, but you can ask my wife. I have to put work down at some point because it gets real personal. It gets real personal for me. I try to I think that it's transactional, that every single person I take care of, and why I'm successful at what I do is because I treat it like it's mine. Like, I don't want your house to suffer or your money to suffer or anything, because I treat it like it's mine, and I take it extremely personal, and that was like that part of that article, that like I don't generate leads from paying Zillow or a realtor or anything like that. Like, it's all homegrown leads. Like, it's all word of mouth, and it's because I work for my clients, and that's, again, I'm getting passionate about
No,
it.
no,
So,
you,
yeah.
this is
Yeah.
about you.
Yeah.
We're gonna do you for this an hour. We're gonna talk about you. We're gonna talk about this is beautiful. I love it, man. I mean, I thought about many times. My mother always wanted me to get into real estate.
Mm-hmm.
She always wanted. She goes, "Why don't you go? Take the." And I always says, "Nah." I said, "Ma." She goes, "Perry, you got to get into real estate." Never listened.
Right.
And that's the hard head. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And it's. I bought a few houses in my time,
Mm-hmm.
and every time that I purchased homes. I don't know if you remember Patty Wilson. You remember Patty Wilson?
I don't. Mm-mm.
She's my cousin, and she worked for Anthony Staff,
Okay, yeah.
Castle, and Jeffrey Staff,
Yeah,
God rest
yeah.
his soul. And he was a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
But they were like, they always treated me like gold.
And that's what it is.
And
Yeah,
whatever
exactly.
whatever they wanted, like, they always disclosed everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Tell us a little bit about that. Do you have a lot of disclosure you got to go over? Like, when you say you're selling an older home, are you upfront about it? Or do you recommend inspections, home inspections?
absolutely,
And
yeah.
Tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about that, all those phases.
Yeah, so I mean, so whenever somebody's buying or selling a home, say if you're selling your home, you're responsible to fill out a seller's disclosure, okay? And that's to disclose any known facts about the home that's listed in that disclosure. You're better off just disclosing it, than it coming later,
Okay.
So, and then that's on the listing side. Now on the buying side, say I'm going to show you a house. I'm like, okay, Perry, we're going to look at 123 Main Street today. I bring a disclosure with me. So I'm like, here's a copy for myself, here's a copy for you too. So we can walk through and we can bullet point the different things that we see at this house. Maybe it's perfect. We don't see anything. So you're like, you know what, Ryan, I think I love 123 Main Street. Let's go ahead and make an offer on it. I don't want any inspections. I don't want anything, because I'm looking at this house and it's just beautiful. Okay. And I say, Perry, sometimes it's not always what you get. You see what you get, So we talk about it a little bit more, and you're like, you know what, Rod, maybe I do want it. There's a well and a septic here, and those are high dollar fixes. So we're like, okay, let's have that septic checked, and long and behold, the septic's cracked or something's wrong with it, and now you have a $30,000 fix that you wouldn't have known about if you didn't have that inspection. And this is things that I talk about with my clients constantly. We do look at homes that this market that we're in, that we've been in for years now, that there's multiple offers on these houses, and people they have to. They're like, okay, I'm comfortable with taking the risk of not having a home inspection. Okay, and it is, but at the same sense, there's so much. It's so competitive out there. It is, yeah, and and if they're comfortable with it, and you've gone over it and you've talked through it with them, and they're still okay with it, and they went over the disclosures, anything, it's ultimately their decision. But as a realtor and as a human being, I would never say don't have them. Absolutely not. I'm not that type of salesperson. I'll never walk into a house, and if it doesn't fit you, and I see something, red flags off the rip, it's gonna come out of my mouth.
Right. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's that's things I remember when I purchased my homes. I'm kind of risk adverse, so
Yeah.
I pay the extra bucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I get it. I absolutely get it. Yeah.
I'm just having a piggy bank with pennies and
Yeah.
not dollar bills.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
So
I get it. I
So,
absolutely get it. Yeah.
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 So what do you got going on? You got any projects? You got anything coming in the pipeline that you might want to disclose to us and the audience? Like, do you see interest rates ticking down?
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
think? And what's going to be the trend? What do you feel is going to be the trend in like mortgage rates and stuff like that?
It's funny because you can listen to economists and everybody that's the jailhouse attorneys that will tell you, oh yeah, do this, do that. That's what's going to happen. But I mean, the rates are down. They're down right now. It's a great thing. I just had a VA buyer get approved at 5.7,
Nice.
which is, we haven't seen the fives for a long time. This time last year we were in the sevens, and as November got there, November was probably one of the highest points of last year.
What was that rate?
I think it got close to like mid sevens.
For a 30 year?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, historically is not the worst rate, but because I listened to my parents tell me, when we bought our house, and and it was 18%
Yeah.
then, and
Yeah.
but houses were a lot cheaper then too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You add an extra point onto a $500,000 house, it's a lot extra for your payment. But no, that is the feds are supposedly supposed to lower it. It's tough because election time, that has a lot to play into it. It is what it is. But it's funny how it always works, because our strong, busy season is from April to August, right? You didn't see those things budge, not one bit. And now we're getting to the end of August, everybody goes back to school, and it's like, we'll put them down now. It's funny, but I mean, what we do is we adjust. We adjust. The banks adjust. The lenders adjust. Everybody adjusts to accommodate, to figure out how we do that. And that's a big thing too. Like our area, whenever the rates went skyrocketing, didn't affect Western Pennsylvania, northern Western Pennsylvania, as bad as the Floridas, the Las Vegas, the Californias. These
Demand.
Yeah, and because I had a buddy of mine that sold his house, and he bought his house in Orlando for $450,000. This was prior to COVID. He moved back here. I got him a house in Beaver Township, or Beaver County, excuse me, and he sold his house for $720,000 in like a 5-year, something like that. But that just shows you, like, that was the tick everywhere else. So whenever those rates started going up, and you look in like different parts of the United States, watch their real estate suffered.
Right.
Here, we didn't we shuffled a little bit. We're like, okay, we're gonna have to shuffle our feet, because our prices, like, people look at our prices and they're like, oh, I can't believe I have to pay $150,000 for this house. And you post it online and see how many comments you get from other people in other states, and be like, my God, I wish.
I, like, Ryan, I couldn't believe it. When Jordan and I were talking, like, a couple of his houses, like up on Edison, we're going for $150.
All day. It's crazy. I know. This is in the last couple of years. The houses on the North Hill, houses that were selling on the North Hill in 2021 for $70,000-$80,000 are now going for $150,000 all day. I just sold one on Sheridan. I got one under contract in a day, or it was 2 days. Excuse me. That one was 2 days for $150,000.
That's,
Yeah, 2 days on the market, showed, boom,
Yeah.
and done with, quick.
wow.
Cash buyer.
I think
But
I
yeah,
love that.
exactly. Yeah, I
This
mean,
is good.
yeah,
That's a good sign.
no, it is. But that's the North Hill is just, it's taking off. The North Hill has. I mean, if you go to the upper North Hill, you look some of those homes that have sold up there. A guy in my company, he sold one on Hazelcroft. It was it? I think it closed right at $400,000.
In the city or
In the city.
Neshannock?
In the city.
Woo.
In the city. Beautiful house,
Wow.
gorgeous,
Sure,
yeah. And
sure.
then you would just look at the uptick that has gone on from there. The North Hill has by far just taken off. Even the East Side, Yeah. You go up the East Side, go up past like Maryland, and up, towards Adams and Warren and all those,
Rose.
all those streets up there down Ryan.
Ryan,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
nice
Yeah,
area.
exactly. Yeah, and
Then you get down to St. Elias Church.
Yeah, exactly.
Back in that area. That's all.
Oh,
that's
it's
really
beautiful
nice.
back there. I
It's
love it back
quiet.
there. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so nice back there.
Yeah, it is nice.
Yeah.
It is nice.
Yeah, there's so many little, so many spots in this town that, or now it's like, okay, before we almost had the conversation with somebody that was selling their house in Newcastle in the city. They'd be like, people aren't beating down your door. But now you're like, there's an uptick in Newcastle. There is, and
There you go, everybody.
I mean, I'm optimistic. I am very optimistic about this town. I've seen the absolute worst of this town. I've lived through the worst, and I've lived through the best. And I love to see growth. That's all I want.
Just like you said, you've seen the worst and the best. I'm right with you. Your father and a lot of the guys and my family members worked at Rockwell International. That was one of the major employers.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's a big international company. When they shuttered the doors, that hurt.
That hurt.
That hurt big time.
Yep.
But we bounced back.
Yeah.
Elwood Forge coming down there. I mean, they're a nice little
Yeah.
company down there. They do well, and I think we've bounced back.
Yeah.
Like you said, and that's part of the community. It's part of the spirit of being part of this community. And the cost of living. I mean, I tell my kids all the time. My daughter, she has 2 little boys, and my son, he's engaged, and he served his country, and they're both here.
Yeah.
One's in Laurel,
Yeah.
one's in Neshannock,
Yeah.
and they're making it happen. And my son-in-law, he's starting his own little
Yeah.
gig,
Yeah.
and so as we talked earlier, and it's going to be in the housing industry, construction. So
Oh, it's crazy.
I mean,
yeah.
he's ready to go.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And everything you've said, it's really, really a good sign.
Yeah.
Because if we have that much emotion here,
Yeah.
I think he'll be okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's, like I said, he's already had bids out. He's got bids out, and he's doing his thing.
Yeah, that's it. Like even like with when Rockwell went down, I was a little kid. I remember vividly, and like I attest, my work ethic and my drive and my vision
Yeah.
to my parents, to my father and my mother, because I remember. Because we lived comfortably, while my dad was at Rockwell, and when those doors closed, man, it was a different life, and I watched my father, and probably kill me for saying this, but like I watched him do every single job there was. I watched him bake cookies with the Amish in order to feed our family.
Yeah,
I watched him walk to work.
Yeah.
To stock shelves, until he
Sure.
landed on his feet at Slippery Rock at the university and be able to retire from there. Like I attest that because I watched all my family, go through hard times and bounce out on the other side. And I think that's like what has given me my drive and my vision and, what has pushed me. I watch my sister, my mom, my Aunt Susan, my Uncle Bob, like all these people in my life that have always had my back, but they've led by example, and that's just it. Yeah.
Look what David's gone through.
Exactly. Yep.
And that drive has always been there, and it's been in your family for years.
Stoners are stubborn. We're
Oh,
stubborn.
That's good. That's good. And they're rock hard. baby.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I got to ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
What is the most asked question by a buyer that you get when you're out there trying to pitch or do your thing? What's the most question that you get asked by a buyer?
What do you think it's worth? what do you think?
They come right out.
What do you think? Yeah, so we'll do a walkthrough. We'll do it, and I mean, there's a million different things that play into the type of loan that they have. Whether they be VA, FHA, USDA, conventional, whatever they're working with at the time. And they're like, what do you think this is worth? And there's that fine line because we're in a market that's unheard of. You look at the houses that are on the North Hill and your mindsets, well, these houses were selling for $80,000 3 years ago, and now all of a sudden they're $150,000, but people are buying them. Right. So now your comps that you pull, because that's what I do that too. I do that with all my buyers. I say, okay, look, these are recently sold houses that are similar square footage, features, everything in this area, and I think this would be this is the value that it's showing right now. And I'm not an appraiser by no means, but we have a comparative market analysis that we pull that can show, that is pretty similar to like what a bank would look at whenever they go in and the appraiser looks at it. So that's how I list homes too. We don't just go, 400 sounds good. Right. Like we do our homework. Sure. We look at these things, and then it does get a little bit discouraging for us too, because especially on a listing side too, you'll be like, okay, this is what I think where your home could be at, and they'll be like, well, I really wanted $100,000 more than that, and you're like, no, well, this is, because you don't want to diminish the memories or anything that they put into it too, so it becomes a fine line.
When you say appraiser, okay, so who hires the appraiser? Is that part of the package, or do you hire somebody to do it?
No, so once the house goes under contract, so the buyer's lender, okay, whomever the lender is, we'll just say it's First Commonwealth Bank. First Commonwealth Bank then puts it out there that it goes into a poll. The random appraiser gets called that's on their list. Okay. The appraiser then goes out there. It could work for XYZ appraiser company. Okay, appraisal company. They come in, they pull comps in the area similar. Features, square footage, all of that, and if it's in a mile radius, a school district, whatever it is, however they have to pull the comps to try to make it work for the sales price. Yeah. So say that you bought the house, you went under contract for $200,000, but the appraiser says, hey, this is only worth $180,000. There's a $20,000 gap that needs to be made up. So that's
who pays for that?
It's either the seller drops it down to the 180.
Sure.
The buyer comes up with the extra $20,000, or you meet in the middle if you can.
I got you. I got you. So that's my second. What's the most questions you get from a seller?
Same thing. What's it worth?
What's it worth?
What's it worth? What's it worth? But honestly,
some bucks.
that and what can I do? What can I do? That's I think that's one. Like a lot of people call me, they'll be like, "Hey, Rye, you know what? We're thinking about selling. What are the things that we should do?" And I can't tell you that over the phone. I'm like, let me come take a look. Like a mechanic saying, "Yeah, it could be that." Right. So what I do is I go out there and I give them suggestions. These are the different things that you could do to bring value to your home, and it could be something stupid like a light switch that's not cracked. Simple things like that.
Some of that. What are some of the things that you recommend to make things look good for the seller?
I'm going to give you my secret. This is what I tell everybody.
Secret.
This is what I tell everybody.
You got somebody.
Oh, okay. That's my son. Yeah.
There you go. That's cool.
Love you, buddy.
All right. That's cool.
Yeah.
Gino. Nice to see you, buddy. All right, Daddy's going to give us some information.
So the secret that I tell every seller is that pretend you're buying the home. What would you want this house to look like for the amount of money you're asking for it? It's simple as that. It's literally as simple as that. How you want this dollar amount? What would you want this house to look like? Do you want a doorknob on the door? Do you want chipped and peeling paint outside? Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And those are also just like real big things too. Like you get into, because we have the FHA loans, the VA loans, the USDA loans that are all federal funded, and whenever they're federal funded, there's a little bit more red tape. that comes along with them. So they scrutinize, chipped and peeling paint on, on a porch or wherever it may be,
So you have to abide by their
You have to abide,
stipulations.
or they won't fund.
They
Yeah,
won't give you
fund.
finance.
They won't fund. Yeah, they won't fund until those things are completed.
See, that's like my boy, he would be getting a VA loan.
Yeah,
And I think he's looking.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll have to give you his name.
Absolutely. I work with plenty of VA buyers, and you know what? They're some of my favorite people ever
Yes,
too,
yeah.
because there's a different sense of gratitude there too.
One question I wanted to ask you as we were getting on to that about the different things that you would recommend at Hanson. What do you think over your years of selling somebody did to make the best improvement to make their house sell? What one thing would it be? Put you on a spot.
I know, because it's circumstantial. We'll say to make the best improvement, it depends what's wrong. Honestly, if we'll say that.
The door. I mean, is that a good one? Like changing the door,
absolutely.
making it nice.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm just.
That's a good point. So first
Yeah.
impressions. It's the cover of the book.
Right.
I personally spend a ton of money on pictures.
Nice.
Pictures, videos, everything I do, and I don't do it with just the $700,000 listing. It goes down to the $70,000 listing. Anywhere in between, because I work everything.
Right.
I don't put my nose up at any dollar amount of house. I will buy it. I will sell it. I will do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
So, but it's a good point, because you'll see, like, my pictures are beautiful, and it's not me doing them. I can say that because I don't. It's my photographers that I hire that I spend the money on, because I want to bring the buyers to these houses. So and so, how do your pictures look the best? Landscaping looks good. The landscaping, the paints look good, the doors, anything, how's it gonna, how's it gonna photograph,
Cool.
Yeah, I had a discussion with a guy. He has a bunch of trees in front of his house, and I'm like, dude, you gotta cut trees back.
Open them up.
Because it's not like you have to remove the trees, just get a limb up here or there, and 99% of the time they listen. I think another huge thing too is a lot of people sleep on is staging a home. Yeah, we sold a home, which they became real good friends of ours down in Bridgeville. And their house was beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. And you walked in there, the people that bought it wanted everything. Down in the basement, they said, we want exactly how it is. We want the bar
contents.
stools, everything, because it was that well put together. You know what I mean? And not every house has to be like that. Sometimes you have to sell houses that have absolutely nothing in it. But again, like, give somebody that doesn't have the imagination to see it. And I'm big. I love staging. I love watching the people work and do it, and the differences between, like, the pictures of nothing there and the pictures with the nice sofa with the karate chopped pillow and
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. I know you like pictures, so we're gonna go right into it. Social media, I know you're a big proponent of it. You were the first one of the first ones to come on board.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
We appreciate your sponsorship. Do you do a lot of that with your accounts, like your Instagrams, your Facebooks? Do you blast a lot of your stuff out that way?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And again, that's it's marketing 101. Marketing 101. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs in Newcastle, and a lot of young heavy hitters that that are in we vibe, we talk, and we're just like, I want you to see my face everywhere you go. It is as stupid as it sounds, but I want you to think, whenever you think real estate, I want you to think Ryan.
That's beautiful.
You know, and it's just, I mean, it's hand in hand. It's facial recognition. Like, what do you want? You know, I have a billboard out on 422 coming in from Pittsburgh. Okay, and my manager, she asked me, and my sister asked me this too. She said, do you ever get anybody that calls you from that billboard? And I'm like, I actually don't. You know, but what it does do is that people reach out to be like, hey, Rye, I saw you on the billboard. Good for you. I see you doing this. Good for you. And then that's what it is.
Sure.
It streamlines into the next thing, and streamlines into the next thing. Even though I just sold a house from it the other day. But I did get one. Yeah. But people post it on social media. So they'll say, hey, Rye, I saw your billboard. Boom. And they'll post it on social media. So then it's a click here, a click there, because that's our lives today. Nobody picks up the Newcastle newspaper and reads the Newcastle News too much anymore. You know,
I'm a firm believer in it. I mean, I liked it from the beginning. Not, you know, some people, you know, they downplay it. The results are there.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
there's no doubt.
The viewers are out there. You get people from all over. Like you said, you're picking up clients from Oregon.
Yeah.
You know, Vegas, Nevada, whatever. You know, and you have to use it. And you know what your podcast studio is doing down here at the studios, you know, that's what we're doing.
Exactly.
We're trying to get the community involved, you know, being a part of it, interviewing, you know, young entrepreneurs, businessmen like you. I love it because I studied business. Even though I'm a phone man, I studied business.
Absolutely.
I still love it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
what did you do? What schooling did you go
I
to?
did. I went to Slippery Rock, studied marketing in Slippery Rock, and then I
Nice.
moved to North Carolina. I went to school down in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Beautiful.
And that's it. And and it's funny that my son's listening because I beat it into his head now.
Yeah.
You know, he's 10 years old, and I talk to him. You know, I talk to him about real life stuff, and I'm like, and I talk about business and doing things, and I think that schooling is so important, but I also believe that teaching our kids life and how to get ready for life. We went to his open house yesterday. So my son's open house yesterday, and it was the best thing I've seen in an open house in my whole entire life. It's his social studies teacher / science teacher, okay? And what they're doing right now in his class is they have a bank account. They started them a bank account, it's an imaginary bank account, and they're renting out their desk. Okay, so they're renting out their desk. They're able to then rent it out to other kids, then be able to purchase their desk for $40. Okay, till they can put their equity into, and it's literally like they're having this conversation about like it's a whole ecosystem of different things that they're doing. It's amazing, and I was like,
teachers should be commended for that
absolutely
because that needs to be taught. And at 10 years old, that's a great time to do it because that's when they see a lot.
Exactly. You know,
And
this my son, he wanted to
fantastic.
do a lemonade stand. I said, we're going to do a P&L. Or
Give me the address, I'll buy a couple
Exactly.
gallons. That's cool, Gino.
Yeah. So,
That's
but it's awesome, and I love that, and I think that's something that got missed in earlier generations, because I know that the only thing that we really got taught, and maybe I just wasn't paying attention, was like how to write a check, you know, but nobody taught us about credit or anything, you know, we didn't know anything about that.
Now, this brings back memories. When I was at Lincoln Garfield, which is not even there anymore,
Yeah.
obviously, when you see that big empty
Yeah.
space on Long Avenue, makes me sick, but that's the way it goes. We used to have, every Wednesday, we had a little savings account.
Oh, yeah?
So you could put in a quarter, 50 cents, $1. So if grandma will give you a couple bucks, you would put it in that and you would put it in your savings
yeah.
account. So that started in 4th grade.
Yeah.
So I do remember we had that.
Yeah.
We had that all the way through 6th grade, and then junior high that kind of got lost.
Yeah. Mhm.
But
yeah.
whatever, you know. That's the way it
Exactly.
goes.
Yeah, no, I think it's so important. I think it's just so important that, you know, we can, you know, how many kids actually listen to their parents as they get older and older and older and older, you know, but I think we all were at some point. So, but no, like, I mean, for myself, it took me a long time to be like, okay, well, this is where my money should go. How can my money make money? What do I have to do next? And I like, it's important. It's important to know, you know, if you're never taught these basic life skills of a credit card and what it does, you know, who's teaching you? The credit card companies. That's who's teaching you. Exactly.
And they,
we'll give you more.
I don't want to say this too loud, but that's part of their
Absolutely.
game. They want you to pay the bill forever because they don't get those big buildings and this big office furniture for nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, look what what do they charge you now? 30%?
Oh, it's crazy.
It's
yeah,
nuts.
like 27, 28.
It's worse than a loan shark,
it's
right?
awful. Exactly.
It's terrible. It's gouging.
Legal. I know.
That's another subject.
We'll get on that another day.
I'm going to go over a little bit. We're going to go back to the education. That's got to be a selling point for you too, because Newcastle has Westminster College.
Oh.
It's got BC3. It's got Slippery Rock. It's got Geneva College. I mean, we're in the middle of major colleges. Youngstown State.
Everything.
Youngstown,
It's right there. Everything's
right there,
literally right
right?
there. I know. You're
So
absolutely
that's got
correct.
to be
Yeah.
a selling point, right?
Absolutely. Because, and you see a lot of these people, and you get like Slippery Rock area, for example, you see a lot of Airbnbs popping up now. You see a lot of investors, but I mean, Slippery Rock's one of those communities right now that we're getting a lot of the trickle effect from Slippery Rock because there's not as many houses in Slippery Rock. So you get more people like, you know, deferring to Laurel, New Wilmington, Grove City areas, all of that. But you're absolutely correct because we have everything right in the middle of us, and that's it. Like I could go on, and we were talking about Union Township, like,
Do it.
you know, Union Township. Come on, like it's the hub. I mean, you're right next to 422 to 376 to 79. Like we can be in 224 to Poland. We can go anywhere within seconds. And now, if nobody's noticed that, how many businesses have moved to Union Township that used to be in other places.
That's a big bingo.
Yeah, look at Aldi's, look at Dunham's, you know, like, again, the list goes on and on. They just got a Chipotle out there, you know,
Right,
and Los Migas is fantastic. It's our favorite
Taco
spot.
Tuesday.
Yeah, I know. Call Juan.
Hey, Juan.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I got to get you to be a sponsor too, Juan.
Yes, you should.
Not just
You
with
should.
tacos.
Yes.
We would, you know.
Sean,
Baseball.
Juan's one of my really good friends,
He's a
right?
good
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, he's one of my
You're gonna
clients.
have to talk to him
Oh, I
about
will. I'll get him in. I'll get him in. Don't worry.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, very good
I
guy.
mean, he's such a generous, kind person.
Yeah.
And you know, I find this so encouraging. This hour that we've been talking, basically about an hour, it's very encouraging. You know, I've always wanted to see this happen, and I'm getting to see it happen.
Yeah.
And I'm getting to see young men like you and a couple other ones we mentioned. You guys are doing it.
I appreciate that.
And I appreciate you coming on this show and talking to our audience. I appreciate your family.
Oh, yeah.
I got a good friend now.
Yes,
Good brother.
absolutely.
I appreciate you coming
And a
on
new
the show.
realtor.
Yeah. Well, my wife.
Just kidding.
She's ready to go. She wants to go to Florida. I said, not quite.
Yeah,
Wait till the grandkids grow up a
Getting
little
there.
bit.
Right, you're getting there.
But, you know, maybe we'll get two places. Never know, right?
I can make that happen.
Well, see
I
that,
got you.
Stacy? See that? Ryan's going to hook us up. Is there anything that you want to close the show with? Anything at all that you want to say before we sign off?
I think that the number one thing that I would say that would go to this would just not to anyone, but to the Newcastle community is like to build each other up. Let's quit tearing each other down. Let's quit, you know, if we see something going on in this town that let's push forward. You know, let's not go backwards. You know, let's not be closed-minded. Let's open it up. You know, what can hurt? with a little bit of growth. You know, what can hurt? We all benefit at the end. We all benefit. Our community thrives. So many things can happen. We're known for so many little things in this town. You know, the chili capital, the firework capital. You know, let's thrive together instead of beating each other up. You know, I think that's so important.
That's beautiful, Ryan. That's all what I feel inside me too. I really feel that, what you said. And I just want to add, again, I said it a little bit earlier, encouragement, encouraging somebody, do this, try this out, try this, try this. If we don't encourage each other, it's not going to happen.
Exactly.
You got to be encouraging.
Exactly.
And I appreciate you coming on the show tonight.
Thank you.
I appreciate your trusting me and guiding you through some things tonight. And I want to thank a couple people this evening for sponsoring the show, quite particularly you and Joseph's Market. They've been a good sponsor for us.
That was my first job.
Oh, well, that's my mother.
Yes,
My
I know.
mother
I grew
was
up
there
with.
for 25 years.
I grew up with all of them. I know.
You know
I know.
what I
Me
mean?
and Dom grew up with
Georgie,
little kid. Georgie. I know. I believe.
Dennis,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
so, and then you got Billy up there, and then they're doing the coffee shop.
Yep.
They got some specials going on for Labor Day weekend. They got some lamb on sale. It's going to be all cubed up. They got everything else is on sale. Give them a hit. Hit them up. Check them out. I also want to thank Tony Teez. He's been a show sponsor for a while. He does a little bit of embroidery.
Tony well, too, yeah.
Yeah, and I appreciate it very much. We appreciate you, Tony, for doing everything you've done for us for a while. And one more fella that I want to give a little shout out to. That we just recently got him aboard. Mike Fanera,
Okay.
4-Star Pizza.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What good people.
Yeah, they are. Yep.
And we appreciate you, Mike. We appreciate your confidence in us. And last one, I want to throw something at Sky King Fireworks. They shot so many fireworks off. We scored so many times.
That's amazing. I love it. Yeah.
Vito had to go open up the doggone coffers for them to get more fireworks. And I love it. I love it. I love every second of it. I was at the ball game, and
I think everybody appreciates your updates too, because you know a lot of people that can't be there and they follow you and see the updates on that. It's very much appreciated.
And you're giving. Look at me, Ryan. You're giving me the chills. The fight song's playing in my
I get
ear
it.
as we speak.
Yep, mhm.
Your dad played ball
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Newcastle.
yeah. I played ball. We all
Oh,
played
you
ball.
played
Oh,
ball.
absolutely.
That's it.
Yes,
I didn't know
yeah,
you-
yeah.
That's you're the man.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Who'd you play with?
Schoolie. Yeah.
Good school.
Yeah, I was
Good man.
Schoolie and Sarandria guy.
Oh, you played hoops too.
Yeah, I played hoops. Yes.
Well, listen, I appreciate you, Ryan. I really do. And thanks for coming on the show tonight.
Appreciate you. Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. Everybody, give Ryan a shout out. If you need some real estate, give him a shot. Give him a chance. I want to thank Ronnie, our producer for tonight. He's going to buy me some dinners. So maybe Ryan, too, will get some Taco Tuesdays up there. You guys all have a good night. Thanks for watching. We appreciate your viewership. Have a good night.
Thank you.
We all know there's an advantage to being the home team, to playing at home. And at LGKG, we have been your home team for over 90 years.
We're more than just a law firm. We're your friends, your neighbors, an advocate when life takes an unexpected turn.
We're not just lawyers that practice law. We live in this community, just like you.
When you need us most, we're at our best.